Mom hides camera to find out why doctor insists on being alone with kids. She had never heard of this before. It was a strange request, to be sure. She wanted to stay behind, but he clearly knew better than her. He was the doctor after all. She could only wait in the waiting room. She wanted to know what was going on behind closed doors. Jennifer Harris hadn't had it easy. She had a terrible divorce that would lead her to go to California. But the move was way more stressful than she initially thought. But her daughter was suffering far more than her. But she was strong for a 5-year-old. She had numerous battles. Leukemia was a word that instantly gave people sympathy. The illness was truly devastating, and only those who had gone through it could understand. She needed to get Angela out of the hospital she was currently at. Jennifer got a career opportunity that she knew she had to take. After taking it, she knew she'd be able to pay for health insurance for her dear daughter. Then the medical bills wouldn't keep them buried in debt. The bonus was the new hospital had an amazing reputation. Yet she still felt a knot in her stomach as soon as she got to her first appointment with the doctor. But once the handsome oncologist appeared, he flashed a beautiful smile and she felt much better. But then, at the end of the appointment, she was asked to leave. This had never happened before. What was going on? Why did he want her to leave? There had to be a good reason, but she felt like she shouldn't leave her daughter alone. But he knew better, so she finally complied. Her girl was always drained and tired, but she seemed different when she came out of his office. She was smiling and had a strange look on her face, like she had been hooked up to a power source. What was going on? But she needed to know what had gone on in the office. The doctor avoided the question and just told her her daughter was very strong and that there was nothing to worry about, but her mother's intuition would scream at her to get to the bottom of it. She had a simple plan. She hid a camera in the room when they walked in that would capture everything after she had to leave. But when she'd finally find out what was going on, she would be in disbelief. Angela stayed behind with the doctor for a few minutes again. He smiled at her and walked across the room. Then before her very eyes, he started dancing. Jennifer couldn't believe what she had seen, but her daughter's reaction was the best. His movements were deliberate and clear. Jennifer was trying to move like the doctor. She flicked her hands as he did and slid her feet back and forth as he did a perfect moonwalk. The smile that grew across her face made Jennifer want to break down and cry. Suddenly, a nurse came up and patted her on the shoulder. Jennifer wanted nothing more than her daughter to be happy and healthy. She did everything she could to raise her spirits, but in truth, she was just as burnt out as Angela. The nurse smiled as she watched the video. "Oh, I love that one," she said, pointing as he did an impressive spin. It turns out the doctor had a secret weapon. He knew firsthand how parents couldn't always muster the strength to be bubbly and cheerful every single moment of the day. He knew appointments were tough, so he would, without fail, block out a little time at the end of each visit to have a moment of levity. Just him and the patient. Jennifer burst into tears as he appeared in the waiting room. He might not seem like much to outside eyes, but his actions meant the world. It was no secret that a positive attitude, including laughter, was vital to recovery. Jennifer felt a swell of gratitude as she saw a tiny smile on Angel's face. She thanked him over and over again, but once again his actions surprised her. "No worries, Mom," he said with such humility. They talked for a while about his attitudes toward recovery and the fight against cancer. All the while, Angela slowly tried to mimic that day's dance. The life seemed to pour out of her like never before. There was no doubt they could win this battle.